I don't know who keeps leaving my shop such a mess, but boy, if I ever get my hands on him. Okay, so here's my spindles, still full of dirt and grease. And we're gonna have to pull these spindle bearings out of here because we're switching to something different. And then I dug out one of my old axle shafts, and this is what we got on there. We got this dust cap thing, which sits kind of over it all. And you got this plastic spacer, and then this seal. That's 4 different parts that has to go on there now. Here's the spacers, brand new. Here's the seals, brand new. And this is what we are replacing those spindle bearings with. These are just nylon sleeves that go in place of these, and supposedly they're supposed to hold up better than the spindle bearings. These like to lock up, and then when they lock up, they chew up this part of your shaft. So unfortunately, we're at one of those steps. In order to do any more work, I have to do a bunch of more work to be able to do any more assembly. And now that I see this, I remember these have seen better days. I polished these up already. The seal rides here, the one bearing rides here, and the one rides here, so this pitted up part shouldn't matter because it's in the middle. Now the one thing I did not get a new one of are these. They're kind of just like dust caps. I mean, it's a seal, but it's mostly just to keep the bigger debris from coming through here and getting into the back of the spindle. So this is supposed to stop most of that crap. Those other smaller seals do smaller seal things, but because this is, I was just going to reuse these, but they're a little whipped on, so I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get them here relatively quick. If I can't, then we'll just clean these up. And then after we get all those doodads on and get our hubs and spindles and everything on there, then I got these bad boys. Yukon Hardcore locking hubs. I'm going to give these a try. They were not cheap, I'll tell you that much. But I'm hoping that they hold up good. If I start breaking them, I'm probably just going to switch to drive slugs, to be honest. Part number there if you're curious. Fun little bonus deal. I'm sitting here running rags through these, cleaning all the grease and all the crap out. One of them had blown up spindle bearing metal bits in it, even though the spindle bearings are completely fine on both of these, and they all spin, everything's there. So somewhere in the past something blew up on this thing and they replaced it and didn't even clean the junk out of it. There's a bunch of shavings in there and then these 2 big pieces. So what I ended up doing is ordering new ones of these. This one was actually okay. This one from the edge is pretty chewed up on. These are so hard to get. Nobody in town had them. It would be like 5 days before they would. But I got on Amazon, same thing, like 3-4 days. And I wanted to get this done this weekend, you know? But then I found this kit on Amazon. For $5 more, I get duplicates of all this other crap I already had just to get this one piece that I wanted. Don't even need the spindle bearings unless, you know, I'm going to try those nylon ones. If they don't work out, then I'll have a set of these to put in there. And then I got extras of the thrust washer and that other seal. And all I need is this. This one, garbage. Now as far as the metal slinger bits, I did throw these in the vise and whoop on them with a hammer to straighten them out a little bit. Got the rust off. Got a little coat of paint. I don't know why I bother painting some shit like this that's invisible, but whatever. Boy, they sure aren't sitting down all the way, and I sure didn't straighten this out as good as I thought. Anyway, today we're going to get going on getting these outers together, but all the crust on these is driving me nuts, so I'm going to pound these spindle bearings out, and we're going to give this thing a Craigslist rebuild. Oh, come on, hang on there. It's in like a recessed thing, so the punch barely touches it. See if one of these two will hit it a little better. Yeah, maybe this one. God, I'm not sure what they want you to do with these. For sake. Pass. Pass. Well, the 3-jaw didn't fit in there, but I do have this slide hammer. I can't put the nut on there because then these won't get down small enough. So I can get it in there, but it's hard to hold them. I'm going to see if I can find something to wedge in there to kind of hold them out so they don't keep falling off. Or I can kind of hold it with my hand, but then the sliding is less effective. Yeah, I gotta find something to wedge in there. Ooh. Let's see if that'll work. This is like a three-hand operation here. Honestly, I think these were relatively newly replaced, but I don't need them. What's that mama always told me? It ain't dumb if it works. Got a little bit of a burr or something in here. I think maybe this will reach it. I just don't want nothing to squeak and drag like if the RCV shaft hits it while it's moving, you know? By rights, I really should have just bought new spindles, but they're like $110 a piece, and I thought these were okay. We'll see how they do, I guess. I think something blew up in this front axle because I did find those metal chunks that I pulled out. Needless to say, I think some of those metal chunks rattled around in here and chewed the inside of this one up. I gotta tell you, this air compressor, it runs a lot longer than my old one. It used to be, if I was trying to run a die grinder, I'd get like 3 minutes at most, and it would be so low I couldn't spin it. I've been doing this for like 15 minutes, and it's gotten a little down there, but we are still at about 80 PSI with me running full blast, so I'm pretty happy about that. And these things are so whooped and so pitted. So then lastly, I grabbed one of the more coarse fiber discs. You can see I did from here to about here with the fiber disc, and that's without. You can still see a lot more of that brown down in there. I'm gonna get it the best I can and then hit it with some rust stopper shit and paint them. I just quickly hit this other one with the fiber disc, and this one is in much better shape as far as pitting is concerned. But this is the one that's kind of chewed up. It's not really a crack, but there's definitely a chunk missing out of there. You know what? We're just gonna run it like I said. This one will be a lot easier to clean up though. So check this out. Some of you guys know I did this after cooler and whatnot on here. It cools at like 100 degrees, and the water condenses into here. So usually this has a bunch of water in it. Sometimes this does. It catches most of it before it ever gets in the tank. So here's my tank drain. We'll see if anything comes out of that. Nope. So if you were wondering why I took all the time to build all that stuff on the compressor, now you know. Put that in front of the fan to dry off. The stuff usually kind of starts to turn it black wherever there's leftover rust. Take a look at how that rust converter kind of colors it. It's dry to the touch already though. So we'll give her some primer. I'm gonna let these dry and I'm gonna go fire up the grill because I'm hungry. Look at that, just in the time it took me to spray the second one, the first one's practically dry already. So I figured while I'm at it, I might as well do the same thing to these hubs. They, it looks like I got the rust off of them already. They need a little more work. I knocked the erases out of them, but they are filthy inside. Need to get some grease out and get these painted up too. It does look like the other one, I did get at least one coat on already, but it's still full of grease and crap. Might as well keep on with the theme of things. I don't know who keeps leaving my shop such a mess, but boy, if I ever get my hands on him, whip that ass. Alright, let's get going on assembling this. I did the other side already. I had to pull the little seal off of there because you have to drive this on there. We'll see if I have to clean that paint out of there or not. All I did was just kind of hit it with this plastic hammer. I do think that's about all the way in there, bud. And this guy goes on there. It's kind of complicated, all the crap that goes on these. Alright, so next up we have these two. You have a thrust washer. There's a tapered side, I believe that goes that way. Then you got this seal, which is supposed to seal the back of the spindle. And a lot of times you leave the side that's open toward the grease or whatever. But it does not nest on here that way at all. But it only nests this way, so that's just the way I'm putting it on there. We're using these nylon bushings instead of the spindle bearings. Once we get this on, we'll grease the crap out of the inside of it. And you would think that this is where the spindle goes on, but it's not. And by the way, that is a tight fit over that. My goodness, it has the ride on this part. This is where you'd put your brake bracket on. There's a little spacer that goes here, then the brake caliper bracket, and then the spindle. However, I think I mentioned this before, I'm not using the 4 dual piston calipers. I got a GM brake conversion to basically run the same brakes I had on the Dana 44, like JB6 calipers, brackets, spacers, doodads, and doohickeys, and dingle hoppers, and all the things. And I got this kit from Lugnut 4x4. I believe we're probably going to end this here because I need to make a video about those brakes. Thanks for watching. We're getting there. We're getting there.